What's up, guys? It's Chris here to do a quick Edwin Valero versus Antonio DeMarco prediction. Before that, though, real quick, I just want to mention: be sure and check out the radio show tonight. Leave It in the Ring Radio. I will put a link in the information bar as always. Guests scheduled to be our heavyweight legend, I guess you would say, Ken Norton. Also, Teddy Atlas is scheduled to be on the show, and fresh off his big win over Curtis Stevens, Jesse Brinkley. So that's coming on 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock East Coast. If you don't get a chance to see this video before then, you can always catch the show on podcast. So, yeah, be sure and check it out. And if you're there, try to call in or get in the chat room. Even if you don't get a chance to call in, you can always submit a question in the chat room. And we'll try to get that asked to our guests. Moving on, Edwin Valero versus Antonio DeMarco. I wasn't going to do a prediction video for this because I usually try to do a pretty thorough boxing prediction videos and whatnot. But honestly, I'm not real. I mean, I'm familiar with both these men, obviously, both these fighters, but I haven't seen a whole lot of them. I've seen Valero fight some of his fights on YouTube and whatnot, but this will be my first time watching him fight on my television. DeMarco, I've seen his last few fights on Showbox, so I'm a little bit more familiar with him as far as being able to watch and study his fights live for what that's worth. This is for Valero's WBC lightweight title. Edwin Valero, 26-0, 26 KOs, all those wins come by KO. DeMarco, 23-1-1, 17 wins by knockout. Antonio DeMarco has a slight height and reach advantage. Not slight, but he has a height and reach advantage. Obviously, you got to give the power edge to Valero. Neither guy is the most sound technical boxer, that goes without saying if you've seen them fight. Not that it's going to be mistaken for Floyd Mayweather Jr. anytime soon in terms of technique and whatnot. DeMarco may have a little bit of an edge there. He uses a jab more effectively. Valero doesn't really use a jab much at all. He relies more on his natural abilities, obviously along with his power. But unfortunately, that's hindered his development. Ever since he's been banned from fighting in the States, he hasn't trained here. And, it's really just hindered his progression. He never really improved. When he first came out, he was training down in Southern California, along with Mike Chondo, Daniel Ponce de Leon. Just making his ways around the Southern California gyms, where there's a lot of fighters and a lot of good trainers. And since he stopped doing that, he just hasn't progressed in terms of technique the way young fighters you would expect to, especially champions, So he just doesn't have a lot of good technical skills. Fortunately, he does have that power he's been able to rely on and, continue to win. Also, I know people still question his record, because he hasn't had the highest level of opposition yet. This is true, but, that's not solely his fault, The fact that he's not allowed to fight in the States, it means he can't get a lot of the bigger names, A lot of the top lightweights and junior lightweights or super featherweights, 130, when he was fighting there, they don't necessarily want to go fight somewhere else and, possibly not make as much money when they can fight here in the States, make more money, and fight less dangerous opponents. So, his level of opposition may not be the best, but you can't hold that solely against him. It's the fact that he's just not regulated to fight in the States. This fight's taking place in Mexico, where DeMarco, is from, so he will obviously probably have an advantage with the crowd and whatnot, although I don't think that's really going to be anything of a factor with Valero. He seems like the kind of guy that's not going to be bothered by that one bit. For the fight itself, although DeMarco is slightly, maybe technically better, he's easy to hit. If you've seen any of his fights on Showbox, he gets in a lot of firefights. He gets hit, but the fact is he's been able to overpower and outgun these guys. He's been able to take them out, just get the better of them. And unfortunately, I don't think that bodes well for him in this circumstance, Obviously, Valero can get hit as well, but he's been able to stand up to that, He's got a pretty solid chin. Not to say DeMarco hasn't, but I don't think DeMarco's faced anyone with the power that Edwin Valero has to offer. So I think it's gonna be a barn burner of a fight. I do think it's gonna be early on. I do think it's gonna be pretty competitive. I think both guys are. I assume that DeMarco will probably try to fight not safe but smart and use his jab and stuff and not get in a complete slugfest. But I think he's gonna get drawn into that. I just think being a Mexican fighter, fighting in Mexico, I just think he's going to get caught up in the moment and start trading shots, and that's where it's going to become dangerous for him, and that's where he's going to get in trouble. I think it's probably going to be somewhere around the 5th, 6th rounds, and I just think Valero's going to end up catching DeMarco on the chin, stunning him, and probably finishing him off. I don't know if it's going to be a clean KO. I'm looking more of probably a technical knockout, but I do think Edwin Valero is going to win this fight by technical knockout, within 7 rounds or so. In what should be a really exciting, entertaining fight, though. Really looking forward to this one. So, that being said, I'm putting together an article for the website, thewillbebloodfightshow.com. Just predictions, quick little predictions from everyone on the Leave It to the Ring staff. 97 Rough, Blood. Hopefully, if I hear back from him, Strike Hearts, myself, Rob Riddler, David Chen. So Art from Stand and Fight. So I'll hopefully Red. I'll hopefully have that up, finished and have that up by this evening, or if not tonight, so you guys can go and check that out. And comment on it if you'd like. That's pretty much it for now. Be sure and check out the website, thewillbebloodfightshow.com. The radio show, Leave It in the Ring Radio. I'll put links in the information part. My Twitter, if you're interested, I'll put that in the information part as well, the link. And probably back on Sunday to talk about this fight, depending on how it goes. But until then, y'all, I'm out.